And joining us today on the Newsmaker program are President and CEO of First Bank Hampton, Tyler Heeren. Also joining us is the Chairman of the Board of Directors and President of their holding company. That's Dave Heuberger, the longtime President and CEO of First Bank Hampton. I appreciate you guys for having me in here today. Apologize for the delay, that's on me, but thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch, for having us, and appreciate you being here and appreciate all that KLMJ does for the community.
So Dave, we'll start with you since the microphone is already in hand.
Okay.
Go back a few decades. I won't say how many unless you want to. Kind of how you all started here at First Bank Hampton and kind of the history, a little history behind it as well.
Okay. How much time do we have?
As much as you want.
Well, thanks, Mitch. I started here at the bank. My first day on the job was in a part-time status, and that was June 1st, 1978. I went full-time with the bank May 23rd, 1979. And it's been a steady progression over the years of working in bookkeeping, being a loan officer, ended up being president and CEO of the bank. So it's been quite a ride. It's been terrific. It happens because of a great staff all those years from beginning to end, and that makes a big difference. Made it easy for me.
So you mentioned 1978, you were part-time here. How has banking changed? Because I'm assuming you didn't have several screens per room.
No.
So that's one of the first ones.
This is what we used, yellow pads, and now we're using laptops. That's the big change. When I started at the bank, I don't think we had a computer in the building for a few years. So that's been a big change. The internet changed things a lot. The rapid transmission of data has changed things a lot. Instead of paper checks, now everything's electronic. So it's been amazing to watch, and I think the changes that are coming up the next few years are going to be quite amazing as well, but exciting, such as AI. It's changing the banking world as it is everything else in the world, I guess, but it'll be fun to watch, and it'll be good.
In every career you look at, every job you have, AI is going to help in some facet. I know where I'm at. It helps us transcribe audio down to just into words in a few seconds. For you guys, I mean, do you see AI kind of helping the banking world, so to say, Dave? And I'll probably ask Tyler this too down the road.
Sure can. Well, it helps with fraud, detect fraud. It's being used there a lot. From fraud to helping us write ads and letters and dissect documents and policies. It goes a long way in helping us do all that.
You're joined by the Chairman of the Board of Directors, Dave Heuberger, here at First Bank Hampton, also President of their holding company, also current CEO and President, Tyler Heeren. And we'll move the microphone on over to Tyler now. So you're not too bad. You got that part of the interviews thing down here, Dave. So that's part of the interviews. On the rest of it, you just got to ask questions.
All right.
Anyway, Tyler, I'll go to you now. So you're now CEO. Just tell us a little bit about your time here at First Bank Hampton, how you went to president, now holding both those roles here at First Bank Hampton.
Certainly. Been at the bank a total of going on 18 years this coming fall. So I started out at the bank in the fall of 2007. I was a loan officer at that time and worked for a lot of my career here on the lending side of the bank and did all things consumer lending to ag to commercial and everything in between. It was a great learning ground to just get familiar with everything that goes on here at the bank. And then 2001 in September, I took over the president's role. So it's hard to believe it's been almost 4 years ago already that transition happened from Dave. And then Dave remained on as the CEO, and that's been terrific from a mentorship standpoint for me to be able to continue to learn under Dave's leadership and have that transition happen a bit gradually and slowly. And so now to take on the CEO role has kind of completed that transition. But again, I think it's important to mention again that, Dave's not riding off into the sunset just yet. He is the chairman of the board. He will remain as president of the holding company, so he will still very much be involved here at the bank. But I'm also happy that Dave is at a point in his career and has the confidence in me and the other leadership and the staff here at the bank to be able to step back a little bit and enjoy, slowing down a little bit while still remaining very involved and very much keeping his finger on the pulse of what's going on here at the bank.
Say Dave's shadow will still be seen by everyone here. I want to go to you now too. I asked him about the AI thing because, people I talk to, whatever career it is, AI gets involved. Are you kind of the same wavelength that Dave is and how it can help the banking industry, so to say, Tyler?
Yeah, certainly. It's going to be a big deal in not only in our industry, but I think just about anywhere you go in the future. I will say we're still learning a lot. I think we're at the kind of the tip of the iceberg as far as learning how AI will be implemented into the banking industry. But yes, as Dave said, fraud detection, I think, is where a real benefit of AI can come into play within the banking industry. That's becoming more and more prevalent almost on a daily basis, unfortunately. So any help we can get in detecting fraud and battling that is going to be very helpful. And just, I think streamlining some processes within the bank is some potential benefits. As Dave mentioned, I think there's some advertising and dictation and writing type of applications for AI going forward that will help us all be just a little bit more efficient in what we do on a day-to-day basis.
And so it's been almost 20 years for you at the bank. You said, Tyler, not going as far back as 1978, sorry, Dave, but
It's all right.
back in 2007, 2008, you had computers, but they were a little bit bigger. So maybe over nearly 20 years, how has banking changed in your eyes since you first started?
Yeah, the technology is ever changing. A lot of the digital banking spaces, I would say, is where things have changed in my 20 years here. Yes, we had computers, although I will say when I first started, did have a typewriter on my desk for many years. So I did use a typewriter here for a little bit. I don't think we have any more of those around anymore. But the digital side of banking with online banking, mobile banking has been a big development in my time. The ability to transact business online in more rapid pace of transactions continues to accelerate. So online account opening, some online lending capabilities, just that technology that allows customers to bank with what they hold in their hand and put in their pocket every day is really probably the biggest change that I have seen.
I was going to say 20, 30 years ago, you had to come to the bank to check your balance. Now you open up an app, put in your information, you can see that. That's just one of the many things you probably both have seen over the years as your time here at First Bank Hampton.
Yeah, definitely. But I will say, Mitch, what I have appreciated in my 20 years here is with all of that technology change, First Bank Hampton and prior to that, First National Bank was always very much a customer-focused, community-minded community bank, and that hasn't changed. And so that's been neat to see that all that technology change go on in and around the bank and around the banking industry, but yet the focus of First Bank Hampton remains its customers and that relationship banking, supporting the community that turns around and supports us. And so it's been neat to see some of that steadiness in that as well.
And it's nice it hasn't changed. If you can give that back to him real quick. I want you to elaborate that on that too, Dave, because everybody knows your big slogan of the old days, but your community involvement, if there's anything going on, you usually see First Bank Hampton's logo, so just talk about that community involvement.
Glad to. We are a community bank. So when you bank with us, make your deposit here, get your loan here, it benefits the community. We're lucky to have an ownership group that allows us to do that, reinvest in our community. And we plan to keep doing that. And yes, shop local, dine local, bank local, enjoy local is very important to us. We want to support all businesses in our market, and our market is Franklin County. We do have a branch in Latimer. That's been wonderful. It's a wonderful community, but so is every other community in Franklin County. We're going to remain a community bank, an independent community bank, and loan to local businesses and farmers and commercial accounts that we have. It's been good. And I want to thank too, over my career, I learned how to be a banker, a community banker from Al Saylor and Roger Dawn. So they were part of my early career, and I want to give thanks to them. And it's great to be able to hand it off to somebody like Tyler. I can go home and sleep well at night, so I don't worry about things too much. And That goes for the entire staff. I mentioned it earlier, but over the years we've had a great staff, and that truly does make life easier when you're at any job you're in, but especially here at the bank, for me anyway. Good staff makes all the difference in the world. So,
Okay, we're joined by Dave Heuberger, former president and CEO of First Bank Hampton. Also the chairman of the board of directors and president of their holding company. Also joined by Tyler Heeren, the new president and CEO of First Bank Hampton. I appreciate the time, guys. Anything else you guys would like to add here before we let you go?
no, sorry about that phone call. That's never happened before, has it?
No.
I just want to thank KLMJ again. There it goes again. But anyway, thanks KLMJ for being here, and appreciate all that you do. And I thank the customers of First Bank Hampton, the staff, the directors for a great career here. And yes, I will be in and out for a while yet, so I'm not going away totally, but thank you.
Anything else you'd like to add, Tyler?
I'll just say real quick, as Dave said, tremendous staff here at First Bank Hampton in both of our locations, which is a huge benefit to being in this role and makes it a joy to do on a daily basis. And it sounds cliche, I've said it to the staff and some other places, but it really is a privilege and it's an honor to be in this role here at the bank. And just thank you to Dave and his steady leadership over the years that have put the bank in such a great position to move into this role. And I look forward to just continuing on with a lot of the traditions that have gone on before, and very appreciative of all the past leadership of the bank.
That's Tyler Heeren, Dave Heuberger, and Dave Heuberger's ringtone, today's guest on the Newsmaker program.